Hi, I'm Tom Griffith from Greater Formation, where I help people get clear, get focused, and be fruitful. I was about 4 years old when I was standing in the middle of my kitchen. It might have looked something like this. However, there was no drip coffee maker, there was no Keurig for coffee, there was no microwave, but it was a spacious experience for me, and I was somehow interacting with God in some capacity. And I was wondering with God, I can remember putting my hands out in the kitchen and thinking, is creation real? Possibly God made everything, but it doesn't exist unless I'm present. I wondered whether maybe people and creatures only existed when I showed up, that they didn't have lives of their own. Now, I knew even at 4 years old it was a fairly preposterous thought. But as I reflect over it, it was kind of a deep encounter with God. I recognized He existed, I recognized He was Creator, and I recognized that somehow I could personally access Him. How about you? Do you have any early recollections of an encounter with God? Chances are they're fairly unorthodox. They don't fit into boxes, because God actually doesn't either. I encourage you that reflecting over your experiences of God can deepen your soul and actually root you more deeply as a person. Over the next couple months, I plan to share some of my crazy encounters over my life, just to stir you up and maybe build up your own sense of spirit and soul. Maybe, would you do a couple things for me? One is, could you maybe reply to this post and share when was the first time you thought of God, or that you can remember having an encounter or a deep thought of God? How old were you? Secondly, very briefly, what was the content or the topic of that? I think that would be fascinating to hear how different people first thought about God. And secondly, I'd encourage you, maybe you could repost this or maybe send it to friends that you'd like to stir them up to think about their early days in faith too. Over the next couple months, as I mentioned, I want to dig in a little bit deeper and hopefully be of benefit to you. May you go deeper in your own recollection and interaction with God.